This is an open letter for Uncle Sam. Love you, man. Here's the thing, Uncle Sam. Uh, your manager's policy for the past 250 years has consistently your manager's domestic policy as well as international policy, foreign policy, domestic policy as well as foreign policy. The policy has always been racist, unfortunately, and it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. Even in now we're talking about 2021. You see that domestically, again, you have a much better time, being a much easier time, much safer time, spending time as a pink skin as you have any shades darker than the pink skin. It just is. It just is. The policing is different. The suspicion is different. If you're pink skin, you're much less under suspicion, and if you're any shade darker than pink skins, more, and the darker the complexion, the more under suspicion one becomes. And you see it in the attitude of that's in terms of policing, and then in terms of judiciary, there is, the judges don't look at people the same way. I myself had an experience with an immigration judge that I wasn't looked at as a pink skin. I wasn't looked at as a brother. I was looked at as a fucking alien from a shithole that doesn't belong here. This is pink skin land. This is how I felt. This is how I was looked at. I felt I was looked at. And it's clear in other matters, it's the same way with other people, darker shades of skin. It's the same way. Criminal way is the same way. But, and so this we all know, and it hasn't changed. On the other hand, that's the policing and that's the judiciary. In terms of living within the pink skin, between the pink skins, it's just in terms of interaction in with the population. You see that the pink skins really don't enjoy having non-pink skins around. And they show it. And they show it in their interaction with you. If you're not, if it's established, or even if they guess that you're not a pink skin, they they show their aggression, show their opposition. Just the regular average folks, Joe Sixpack, he just looks at you and determines whether you're of his race, pink skin, or not. And if you're not a pink skin, then becomes aggressive, becomes what are you doing here? This is my land. Love it or leave it. Love it or jump in the ocean. My way or the highway. Sort of like this is ours. Now you wonder, it's like actually it wasn't yours. It was belonged to the redskin. You took it over and now it's yours. And I gotta jump in the ocean. So just like the redskins, you force the redskins to jump in the ocean. Now everybody else who wants to be on the land, they have to jump in the ocean. Or if they don't jump in the ocean, they have to put up with all the shit that the pink skin throws at them. This is the way the domestic policy is, the domestic environment. I personally were verbally assaulted many times by the Pinkskins just for no reason, just right out of the blue. A few times they actually pretended that, to get away with it, they pretended that they're drunk and started, running their mouth and, verbally assaulting me just because, he felt like it. A Pinkskin feels like, verbally assaulting you and verbally insulting you, and apparently it just feels okay. It's just okay for them, and they feel comfortable insulting and verbally assaulting, or I guess physically assaulting people who are not Pinkskin. Pinkskins are very, at ease treating other races like shit. And this has been, sort of like has been going on ever since its establishment of, Uncle Sam's Land. So that's in terms of domestic policy, which everybody knows and, is established. We all know it. But as comparison, I haven't been, insulted or verbally assaulted by any black people, any black skins in United States. Although the black skins are, they draw this cartoonish figure of the black skins as the violent and aggressive. In reality, all the aggression and violence that I have been, on the receiving end of, all the aggression, assault, insult, verbally, I only received it from the Pinkskin. It's sort of like, so there is this misinformation, this cartoonish misinformation that no, the black skins are aggressive and savages and this and that, and the redskin are aggressive and savages and all that. But I personally, all the insults and verbal assaults that I have been on the receiving end of, I have always been on the receiving end of from a Pinkskin. Different Pinkskins, but every time there has been a Pinkskin who felt at ease, attacking, aggressive, showing aggression towards anyone that, the Pinkskin doesn't feel is a brother, is like himself a Pinkskin. So I think this is 180 degrees, opposite. It's wrong that, draw a picture of the Mexicans, the brown skins and the black skins as aggressive and bad and this and that, while I have always, experienced aggression from the Pinkskins domestically inside Uncle Sam's Land. That's the domestic policy. That is all races, from the judiciary to policing to the average Joe culture in the society, the dominant culture of the society, the policing, the judiciary, the laws. When I say the judiciary and the laws, I mean when you don't give, I can establish all of these. Prove it. When you don't give Puerto Rico, after a couple of 100 years of owning Puerto Rico, when you don't give Puerto Rico the right to statehood, that means you don't want to hear the Puerto Rican voice in your legal system, in your laws. You don't want to give a voice to these cocksuckers over there. And why? Well, I have a guess. It's clear to everybody that because majority of the people over there are dark skinned, blacks and browns, and there's a mixture of blacks and browns and some whites, but it's a mixture. It's mostly brown, light brown, dark brown. So as far as Uncle Sam is Uncle Sam's manager, I love you, Uncle Sam, but as long as your managers are concerned, they don't want to hear, they don't want to have a voice from the darker skins in the Senate, in House. What do you mean? We don't want those cocksuckers in here. A few blacks that they have to put up with from, concentrated population of black folks in southern states where they used to be slaves. Now they're concentrated in center of cities, and they have to put up with a few black voices. They do, but no more. No more. They try not to, they try their best not to have any darker voices in their legal system. So therefore the laws are affected in such a way that is biased towards other races. And to prove this, the Puerto Ricans, for example, they are considered citizens, but they can't vote in Puerto Rico, but they can vote once they move to the mainland. And why is that? For the simple fact, when the Puerto Rican moves to the mainland, the brown Puerto Rican moves from a majority to a minority voice. Moves to a majority voice to a minority voice. Now, his vote, within being in a minority, wherever the fuck he moves, being a minority vote, it doesn't affect things much. But being in Puerto Rico, where the majority are brown and black, that over there his vote would be part of a majority, and that's troublesome. That is what, that is the racist system. The racist domestic system doesn't want that. They don't want a voice from Puerto Rico. They don't want a voice from, Guam. They don't want a voice from these shitholes. So they say, no, your territory, fuck you. So that's the domestic policy. And again, Washington, D.C., same thing. The reason they don't give a voice to Washington, D.C., because the average people over there is a majority black skins. Nope. We don't want to give any more voices to the black folks if we can't get away with it. We will not give any more voices to the black people as far as we can get away from it. And those black people that they do give a voice for, they choose them. They choose those real, sellouts. Condoleezza Rice and Mr., the guy in the Supreme Court, Thomas, that he's you want to talk about a self-hating guy, that would be him. And so they're very, very discriminate about which black voices they give, which black people they give a voice to. Only those black people who really agree with them, who really agree with the pink skin system, really agree with the discrimination, really agree with the racism. Oh, they just agree with it because, it has always been there. They have become accustomed to, and they have become what they call a house nigger. That is, the boss, the big boss has let them, live in the house and, enjoy some of the privileges of living in the big house, and, they have become, an instrument of the big boss to put down their own people who are living in a shithole outside the big house, living in the fucking barns. Anyway, my point is this. That's the domestic policy. Internationally, unfortunately, Uncle Sam, your managers are again racist in the international arena. As much as they go back and forth and say, no, we are put aside racism and we stopped slavery and we no more racist and we look at everybody the same. But then you look at it and says, you see that wherever they draw a picture of an enemy, whoever they put their target on as the enemy, this is an enemy, they put a target on, the media, the establishment, the political system, these guys who are in charge. Wherever they draw a target on, whoever they draw a target on as the enemy, they just happen not to be pink skinned. They just, matter of fact. It just, it's odd, but, if you ask them, there sort of becomes, they don't know what you're talking about. But apparently, accidentally, this is an accident that they never draw a, target as an enemy on a pink skin. Well, except Russia. Russia is, that's Eurasia. That's, that's always been a target because Russians are not, not all pink skin. There's a large portion of it is in Asia, and, they run their own system. Beside Russia, who some of it happen to be pink skin, and the British have always had a problem with the Russians. The other side, the rest of the time, wherever they draw a target, it just happened to be not pink skin. It's never a pink skin, a target as an enemy. Ever since World War II, after World War II, the target has moved around and this is enemy. It's always have been in Central America. These brown and red people, red skins and brown skin, these are enemies. Target. Brown people, target. South America, the indigenous voices in South America, these are enemies. Who should we bring to power? Pinochet. Who is he? A pink-skinned European. Again, indigenous in Ecuador, enemy. Redskins in Ecuador, enemy. Who do we back? A cocksucker general of the pink-skin origin, who's, immigrant in Ecuador. And Argentina, who we recognize? The fucking generals from European descent, pink skins. Who are we against? The target is on the red skin and the brown skin indigenous people of South America. Africa, they're all bad, they all have a target on, they're all terrorists, except who? Except South Africa, when it was pink skin run. That was a friend. It wasn't a terrorist government. It wasn't terrorizing the local population. Well, it was actually, but Uncle Sam's managers never said that. So they're like, no. The pink skins are the friends. Although the pink skins were terrorizing, it was obvious to everybody else in the world that the local black population was being, pushed into townships, while the pink skins was running the land. And Uncle Sam, as usual, recognized the pink skins as the good guys and the darker complexions as the bad guys. Target. Nelson Mandela had a target on his back. As far as the pink skin structure, pink skin managers of Uncle Sam were concerned, Nelson Mandela was the bad guy. All the black people of South Africa were the bad guy. What do you call this? It just happens that every time the enemy happens to be non-pink skin, that's racism in a nutshell. Anybody who, if there is an enemy, you can bet your ass it's not going to be a pink skin. It's going to be anybody on the opposite side of the pink skin. Between Australia and China, we are for Australia. The pink skin is for the pink skin. It's like, oh, we are friends. We are friends. And on the other hand, you see that, you have all this, noise being made. Iranians should not have nuclear weapons, and the Pakistanis should not have nuclear weapons, and the Indians should not have nuclear weapons. Nobody should have nuclear weapons. But Australia, here you go. We give you nuclear material. We give you all the technology that you need. What's the difference? Oh, it's the pink skin. Because the pink skins are in the majority over there. And they're doing their best in Australia to stay the majority. That's why the Australians have such a tough immigration law. Immigration law? So the black skins of Australia who were there, they didn't have an immigration law. The fucking cocksucking British sent all their criminals over there to, take over the land, wipe out the black skins, and now they have an immigration policy. We don't want anybody else in here. We came here, we established ourselves. We don't want anybody else here. Not the yellow skins, not the brown skins, and we are even trying to get rid of a few black skins that are left in Australia from the native population. We are just, trying to get rid of those as well, to keep the majority pink skin in Australia. And majority pink skin, that means, friends of Uncle Sam's managers. Great, we can be friends with you because you're like us, you're pink skin. Oh, so, Pakistan with 128 million population should not have nuclear weapons, nuclear submarines, but Australia with 30 million population should. Even if they don't have the know-how, we will give it to them. Why? Because they're pink skin. And we should distinguish these two, allies from assets. Pink skins are allies, but some of the brown skins that are friendly towards, they're assets, they're not allies. Saudi Arabia is not an ally of Uncle Sam's managers. Saudi Arabia is an asset. It's a family who, with the protection of the pink skin, is running the shit over there. The Saud family. But they're by no means an ally. They're not considered an ally. They're shit. They have they don't contribute to this relationship. They're just being protected to run the shit over there, to keep the shit quiet over there. End of story. They're assets. All the Arab shitholes that are under the control of the British in the Arabian Peninsula, which is all of them except Syria and Yemen and Iraq, specifically the ones that were not under the complete control of the British are the problematic one. Those that are under complete control of the British, like Dubai and Bahrain and Saudi Arabia and Jordan, these are Oman, Qatar, these are all under complete control of the British. There was this documentary that showed that the Qataris, Amir of Qatar, that's their king, whatever the fuck he is. It was just in the documentary that every year he receives a high level delegation from the British government who come in Qatar, go to Qatar for a dialogue. And in this documentary, with no shame at all, it was explaining that yes, the King of Qatar wants to know the position of the Queen and the position of the British government, so he can coordinate his position of his government with that of the British. I'm sorry, these motherfuckers never left colonial. These motherfuckers are still colonies. If you receive a delegation to be told exactly what is expected of you, then you have no independence. Kuwait doesn't have an independent. I'm sure Qatar comes and officially says this is what we do. I'm sure the rest of them is like this. Either overtly or covertly, they receive a delegation once a year twice a year, 6 times a year, 12 times a year, or there is a direct line between the British embassy and the palace of whoever the fuck is running the shithole, where the British guy says, we want you to declare this position, we want you to declare that position. With regards to this matter, we want you to declare this position regards to that matter. And these are the good guys. These are the friend of the pink skin, because they're doing exactly as they are being told by the pink skin. They're doing exactly as they're being told. If they don't do exactly as they're being told, then suddenly they get a target on their back. They become an enemy. They will get the target on their back because they have to do exactly as they're told. Because if they don't, since they're also not pink skin, they will get a target on their back. So you're either pink skin and other pink skins try to work with you, become your allies, like the Australians, give you weapons and, raise you. Or if you're not pink skin, you have to do exactly as the pink skin tells you to do, or you will get a target on your back and you will blow up. I would call this a racist foreign policy. Anybody would call this a racist foreign policy. And you know that. And you know this. Prime example, Cuba. Obama came into office, said, it doesn't make sense. This is an island very close to our coast. We should be celebrating together. We should be in good terms. Let's have a dialogue. Let's get closer. They want to have their independence. That's the thing with Cuba. They don't want to become a territory. They want to have independence. And Obama was okay with that. He's dark skin himself. He's like, okay, they're human beings too. They want some kind of independence. They don't want to absolutely take orders from us like the fucking Kuwaitis do. Okay, let's have a dialogue. But as soon as Obama was out of the office, the relationship was getting warm, and as soon as he went out of the office, the first pink skin that came into the office and said, fuck this, we're not talking, embargo, even worse. Same thing with the Iranians. Obama, let's talk, let's work something out. As soon as the black skin was out of the office, the next pink skins came and said, fuck this, no, we're not talking. Why? Because you're not a pink skin, Cuba. Because you're not a pink skin, Iran. If you were a pink skin, you could have qualified as an ally. But since you're not a pink skin, you can only qualify as an asset. And as an asset, you have to take orders from us. Or else, why do we want a useless asset that doesn't take orders from us? You're not a pink skin, you can never be an ally of the pink skin. This is how the pink skin sees the world. Since you're not a pink skin, you can never become our ally. But if you take all our orders, we may consider you as an asset. And that's the thing. I mean, the Shah of Iran, he was on the good side of the pink skin. But again, he wasn't an ally, he was an asset. A lot of Iranians, think that, it was a good time. Why did we had a revolution? Why, we had to kick Shah out, and he wasn't good. He had a good relationship with the West, and everything was fine, and everything was dandy. Yes, of course it was. But again, he wasn't an ally of the pink skin. Pink skin never looked at Shah of Iran as an ally. Pink skins never looked at Iranians as allies. They looked at the Shah and the Iranians as an asset. But an asset means you have to take orders all the time from the boss. Which is who's the pink skin? No, well, the pink skin want to be the boss forever. And that was the problem with the Shah. That, yeah, the relationship was good with the West, but he was an asset. He still didn't, he couldn't always negotiate the best deal for the Iranians, because you cannot, be an asset to the other guy and still negotiate a good deal for your own people. You're kind of in the middle. You're getting, you're somebody else's asset, but then you're supposed to negotiate a good deal for your people. Well, somebody is going to get the shitty end of the stick, usually your own people. If you want to keep your position as the asset of the pink skin, then your people is usually going to get the shaft, the shitty end of the stick. Or else, if you don't follow your orders from the pink skin, then the pink skin has no use for you. You lose your position as an asset. You suddenly get a target on your back, and you're dead to them. Again, racist foreign policy, racist domestic policy, racist foreign policy. Israel, I love Jewish people. Please don't accuse me of anti-Semitism. I love Jewish people. If anybody wants to convert me to Judaism, I will convert to Judaism tomorrow morning. No problem. I'm not going to be a very religious Jewish guy, but I don't have any problem becoming Jewish. But the thing with Israel is that, again, it's a pink skin colony in West Asia. And just for being a pink, although there are so many anti-Semites, so many neo-Nazis, so many, pink skins in Uncle Sam's land who really don't like Jewish people, but they support Israel at the same time. They don't like Jewish people, but they support Israel. Well, they support Israel because it's a pink skin colony. They may not like Jewish people. I like Jewish people, but they don't like Jewish people, but they support Israel. It's because it's not the religion that they're supporting, it's the race that they're supporting. They see that they're pink skin like themselves. They have moved from either Northern Europe or Northern Americas to Israel, and they're pink skin. They see the videos, they see the picture, they speak with them in English or French or German. But very few of them are from anywhere else in the world beside Europe. And very few of them are any race beside the pink skin in Israel. So just like South Africa, where as long as there were, pink skins running shit over there, Uncle Sam's managers were, friends to the hilt. Israel is the same thing. As long as the pink skins are running shit over there, Uncle Sam's managers are friends to the hilt. Friends and partners. And you're like, oh, so it's the race. And in reality, I cannot tell a Jewish guy from a Christian guy when they're standing side by side. They're both pink skin. 99% of the time, I cannot tell the difference. I don't want to tell the difference. For me, it's not in religion. For me, it's not important. But what I see is that when Mr. Trump was standing beside Mr. Netanyahu, I could think maybe they're brothers. As far as, the complexion of the skin is concerned, and, the facial structure, complexion of the skin, the attitude, the culture, the, understanding each other, they could be brothers, they could be cousins. So that is the part that I say that, again, this is a foreign policy is also racist. So between the brown skin locals and the immigrant pink skin, Uncle Sam's manager take the side of the immigrant pink skin in that West Asia and put a target on the back of the local brown skins, the indigenous brown skins. Just like South Africa, they shook hands with the Uncle Sam's managers. In that case, also shook hands and were good friends with the Pinkskins of South Africa. And they also, had it put a target on the back of anybody, all the black people who were against the Pinkskin ruling on South Africa. Again, same thing. So this racist system has never gone away, apparently will never go away. Domestically, internationally, it's all about, if you're pink skin, we can work something out, maybe we can become allies. If you're not a pink skin, we definitely cannot become allies, but we can have good relations as long as you become our asset. You do exactly as we tell you to do. Yeah, it still exists, folks. Racism still exists, and proud of it. And the Pinkskins will never let go of this. I don't see it in my lifetime that the Pinkskin will let go of this racism. It's just, it's a matter of preference. It begins with a matter of preference. Then it becomes a dominant culture. Then it moves into, political views. Then it moves into laws. Then it moves to politics. It's just, yeah. So Australia, which itself is a colony of Pinkskins, where they eliminated the local black natives and took over their land and moved more Pinkskin there and established a Pinkskin colony, then established a Pinkskin governing structure, established a Pinkskin country in Australia. Now other Pinkskins are using that land as a base to now attack the yellow skins of Asia. First they attacked the black skins of Australia, took them out, eliminated them, established themselves. Now other Pinkskins are helping to make that land as a base to attack the brown and the yellow skins of Asia, the rest of the people in that part of the world, to dominate them, to subjugate them. I don't think this is ever going to stop. The Pinkskin is very aggressive. The Pinkskin is very aggressive, very paranoid. Very aggressive, very paranoid. Can't help it. It's part of the culture, genetics, culture. This Pinkskin is very aggressive. Very aggressive and paranoid. Unfortunate.